Hello, Pre-AP English 1 students, and particularly my Lion students. Hello, I'm Miss Lambert. I am your librarian here at Reedy High School. You may or may not have seen me yet due to the new world that we are living in. If you are not a Reedy student, welcome to this video helper for your formal research paper. I'm super excited to get to work with you guys in this way. I just want you to know that whether you're face-to-face or virtual, if there's anything I can help with throughout the course of your research, don't hesitate to email me I can Zoom with you, but I can help with many things along the way as you are working on your research paper, okay? All right, so you have this assignment, and you're going to have this video is going to be linked here, and I'm going to make a separate video about the new citations feature in Google Docs, so that'll be a separate video. You're going to want to check with your teacher to find out what they want you to do, but I'm going to show you a couple different options and then let your teachers direct you beyond that. But I just want to show you too over on readylibrary.com. If you scroll down, you'll be able to find the Pre-AP English 1 formal research paper. And so you can access this entire assignment from the library website. You can click here for the Mac and Via group. This video will be linked here and embedded down here, as well as the other video that I'm making for y'all. All right, so let's dive right in. Okay, so you guys are, y'all are going to be looking at an assignment, and you are going to be writing a formal research paper over this kind of very broad, one of these three very broad general topics. And in fact, you may choose a topic that could possibly fit under all three of these. So I just want you to kind of think about that as you're thinking about your topic and as you narrow it down. So I'm going to focus this video on my narrowed down topic because I know that you're going to need to research your narrowed down topic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this Mac and Via. Now, what I want to show you is if you are a Reedy student, you'll be able to log in with Reedy as your school, your 6-digit student ID as your login, and your 8-digit birthday as your password. However, if you are a non-Reedy student, in order to access this Mac and Via group, you are going to want to go to macandvia.com, and then you're going to leave school blank. So Reedy kids, you'll put Reedy here. Anybody else, you will just leave that blank. And then non-Reedy kids, you are going to put in Reedy HS, and then over here, Reedy HS. If you are a Reedy kid, you're going to put in your 6-digit student ID and your 8-digit birthday in order to log into Mac and Via. Reedy kids, once you click on that Mac and Via group link, it'll open up directly to the group. If you are not a Reedy kid, you are going to need to click on groups, and then you're going to find the Pre-AP English 1 formal research paper and open that. Either way, it's the same link, just different routes to get there depending on your status as what school you go to. All right, so up here in the top, I've got the assignment sheet, which is what I'm working from over here, which is probably what's going to be in your Canvas. And then this is an MLA Works Cited template that's linked here. It's also linked right here, and then it's also linked right here. So it's in 3 different places, so there'll be no reason for you not to have a properly formatted MLA Works Cited page because they're all there. Woo-woo. Okay, so I'm just going to click on this one because it's right here and it's easiest for me at this particular moment. No matter which link you choose, they're all the same. And you're going to need to, you'll notice it's a works cited page, so you're going to need to click Use Template. And then what it's going to do is it's going to make a template of this works cited page for you to put in your Google Drive. And then depending on how your teacher wants you to name it, you can name it your period and your last name, and then your topic, which mine is going to be school to prison pipeline. So this is my narrowed down topic for this particular assignment. So now I've got my period, my name, my topic, and that this is my works cited page. Now you'll notice there's an example in here of what your citation should look like, which we're going to look at that, how to get rid of that in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm going to try this one. It wasn't working a little bit earlier, so we're going to see if it's working now. Looks like maybe it is working better now. So let's see. I'm I'm just going to put in here prison system because I know, so this is Britannica School. This is an online encyclopedia. It has a little bit of information about a lot of different topics. And so I know that in this encyclopedia, they're not going to have an encyclopedia article about the school to prison pipeline, because that is a casual term for when students end up going from school straight into the juvenile detention centers and prisons in our country. So you'll notice here is an article about prison. So if I'm like, what's the difference between prison and jail? I mean, or what's the difference between prison and juvenile detention centers? So I'm going to click on this article right here. And this is just going to give me a basic article about what prisons are, if it will work. Again, this seems to be really, Britannica School seems to be struggling today with working for us. We don't know why. Okay, we'll try and come back to this. It's just not working well. So while I'm talking about sources, let's go ahead and look at this document right here. So this document's in your Mac and VIA group. And this just kind of gives you a really brief overview of what types of sources are in our Mac and VIA. So we have a lot of different sources. So I was just talking about Britannica School, which is an online encyclopedia. So this just gives you a description of it, and then tells you how you can use it, and then tells you in what places you can find what the online encyclopedias are in our Mac and VIA stuff. All right. So magazines. Magazines used to be, and still are, I suppose. Most of us just don't interact with them very much. Like print things now. A lot of magazines are primarily online. You probably subscribe to some of them. In like Snapchat has a lot of magazine subscriptions that you can subscribe to through Snapchat, things like that. Reference and nonfiction ebooks. So these are going to be reference materials, articles, books, things like that. And then news sources. So news sources obviously used to be like printed newspapers, but now they come in a variety of formats. You've got some online, you've got some video, you've got some television, you've got some broadcast, lots of different types of news sources, but I just kind of group them into all the same category. And then your academic journals and scholarly journals. So these are going to be usually written by scholars in an academic or professional field, and these are considered usually experts in that field. So for instance, I've written several professional articles for library science professional journals. In fact, I edited an entire professional journal one time. So these are the different types of sources that you're going to find within our Mac and VIA, and then that document also gives you some guidance on where to find those. And then in looking at the magazines and scholarly journals, we can break it down even a little bit more into scholarly, trade, and popular. So again, this document just kind of shows you what is the purpose of each one of these, how do they look, and then just some different information here. So this tells you also about what peer-reviewed journals and scholarly journals are. So that document is just kind of helpful for that kind of thing. Now you also have this document here, which is using sources with academic integrity. So this is just kind of a point by point, what's acceptable, what's unacceptable, what are acceptable sources, unacceptable sources, citations, how, different citation tools there, what to do with images, and then also we have some acceptable, unacceptable practices for paraphrasing, copying, pasting, effective paraphrasing, how to do quotes, and then taking notes. So this document is here for your reference, just to kind of look over if you have questions about what to do with the information that you're finding. All right, so I'm going to start with this high school source right here, and like I said, my topic is the school to prison pipeline. So I know that one of the things that increases student incarceration or placement in juvenile detention is having school resource officers at schools. So I'm gonna look up school resource officer and just see what happens here. So there's 1,133 news articles about school resource officers, and then there is a reference article about school security. So I may want to definitely look at that. And then there's like 97 magazine articles and 3 academic journals. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through and see if anything sticks out to me that would the need for school resource officers. So this is from the FBI Law Enforcement Bulletin. So this might be a really good source as to like the benefits of having school resource officers for that portion of my research paper. So I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to click on this source right here. So once I open it, I will be able to, if I decide I want to use this, I'll be able to cite it by clicking on that cite button. And then I'm going to grab this um, citation right here, and I'm going to place it. I'm going to do Control-Shift-V, and I'm going to copy it over here into my Works Cited page. Now, a handy tip is if you hit Enter or space after the URL, it'll become a live link. That way, like in the next couple of days, if you need to go back to it, it's right there for you. Now, I can also delete out this citation that was in here before. And now I could go through and take my notes and paraphrase my information for this assignment from this source right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my full narrowed down search term and just see what comes up. And so there are some resources. There's 6 academic journals, there's some magazines, there's 63 news articles. So I'm going to click on this news articles, and I'm just going to see what here. Protesters choose jail site to decry school to prison pipeline. The school to prison pipeline from the Daily Beast. Let's see. School to prison pipeline, the New York Times. Okay, New York Times. So I'm going to click on this. And so I'm going to look at this article, and let's say there's information here again. I'm going to grab that site from there and place this in my Works Cited page. So I'm just going to do this so I can get a couple in here for an example. All right, and again, I'm going to make this a live link by clicking that space bar. And so now I've got a couple articles in here that I can use for my assignment. Okay, so I want to show you a couple other resources that are in here. I want to show you this opposing viewpoints in context. So this is great because the topics that you guys have, I don't know what your teachers are going to want. They're going to want you to explore both sides of the issue or kind of pick a side and talk about it. But I am going to, again, type in my search term here and see what comes up. So this particular database resource is awesome because it'll have different viewpoints on your topics. And so you'll notice right here, racial profiling targets innocent children. Districts innovate to address dropout problem. So I'm going to click on this right here, and you'll notice what happens is here's article commentary. So this is what somebody wrote about the article, and it just kind of gives a little bit about it and like what is the position of this article. And then I can scroll through and read the rest of the article. And another good thing about some of these articles is you'll notice that they'll have other sources. So, you might be able to find additional resources at the bottom of one source if they offer additional sources like this. So I just wanted to show you that as well. All right, so obviously the news site is going to, the news resource is going to have lots and lots of, so I just want to show you the difference in search results. So you want to, once you have your narrowed down topic, you definitely want to explore several of these resources in here because you're going to find different things in each one. And so you'll notice over here there's 4,102 news articles about or mentioning the school to prison pipeline. Learning about school to prison pipeline puts theory into practice for students. So again, you're going to be able to find a lot more news type sources in here, but you want to kind of balance that with some academic journals and some reference as well, so you can kind of have a balanced view, because if you do all news sources, you're going to get a really biased look at your topic, okay? Another one that I want to show you is this all site. So this is actually not a resource in our Mac and Via. This is not a source we pay for. This is a website. And so I am going to, again, scroll the Prism pipeline. I'm going to, again, type in my search term here. And because this is a website, I'm going to have to rely on this Cite This For Me extension, which I will put that in the Mac and Via group. So if you don't have it, you can click on it and add it. But this little extension right here will allow you to cite. So what you can do here is you'll notice here's all the things for School to Prison Pipeline, but I can look at things that are more left biased or politically left leaning information, or politically right, or right bias. And then I can also choose things in the center. So if I want something that's a little more factual, and another thing I'm going to show you is so I'm just going to click on this Reuters news. I don't know if I'll say that one. But I'm going to click on this because I want to show you one more thing. Doesn't appear to have an article there. 16,000 results. Okay, so I want to show you this. I'm going to put this source in your Mac and Via group so you don't have to search it up like I'm doing. But this is, if you're not sure about a news source, if you're like, are they left leaning or right leaning, or are they more neutral? So I'm going to show you how to investigate that a little further here on this is Media Bias Fact Check. So this is a website that checks news sources, and then they'll write a little summary about the news source. So for Reuters, I can see that it is very much in the middle. It's least biased, and it says overall, based on objective reporting, very high for factual reporting due to proper sourcing and information with minimal bias and clean fact check record. So the thing about bias is every human has bias. It's an unavoidable human trait. However, many news sources try to eliminate as much bias as possible, fact check things, and provide as more information instead of opinions. Whereas some news sources are more biased either to the left or the right, so one way or the other. And so what you want to do is you want to try to stay away from the things that are especially on the extreme, and that are things that are more least biased, left center, right center. You can, and some sources will be like, for instance, the New York Times is in the least biased if it's the news information. But if you're looking at New York Times opinions, many times their opinions are going to fall over here on left biased. And like one of the news sources, like Breitbart, is over here on extreme. And Breitbart, here, let me just show you. So let me just show you what one on the right looks like. And I'll show you one on the left too. Okay, so this is one. Oops, I spelled it wrong though. So this is Breitbart. And so you'll notice over here, they fall over in the extreme. Their factual reporting is mixed. They are a questionable source because it has one or more of the following. It has extreme bias, consistent promotion of propaganda, conspiracies, poor no sourcing to credible information, a complete lack of transparency, and or is fake news. So Media Bias Fact Check characterizes fake news as the deliberate attempt to publish hoaxes and or disinformation for the purpose of profit or influence. So this news source is considered a fake news source simply because they publish hoaxes. They publish just disinformation because they're trying to influence people. They're trying to get people excited about their particular side. Okay, and so now I'm going to put in another one here for you. So this is Huffington Post. I want to show you one on the right and then one on the left. So here is the Huffington Post, which you'll notice is not on the extreme, but it is over here on the left, and that's because they have mixed. They have strong bias toward liberal causes through their story selection, their political affiliation. They may also at times use strong loaded words, attempting to influence the audience by using an appeal to emotion or stereotypes. They also publish misleading reports and omit information that may damage liberal causes. So that is an example of like a left. So you've got a left, right, and a middle there for that. So I just wanted to show you that when you are looking for information, you can certainly look up the news sources over there in Media Bias Fact Check, and it'll give you some information there. So so I can see that it's not pulling my full term. It's pulling information. That's what's going on there. So I'm going to put some quotation marks around this and see if it will pull up any sources. So opinion, when virtual schools means a respite from racism. So this is an opinion piece, but if that was something I wanted to look at, I could. And then I could also, click on the left, right, or otherwise and find different articles from this site. So if I'm looking at I'm just gonna pull this up. And again, I would want to look this up in Media Bias Fact Check because I don't know what the Christian Science Monitor is. I don't know anything about that. But if I wanted to use this, I could click on this, cite this for me, click on MLA, and then I would copy and paste this information right here into my works cited for the purposes of this assignment. So those are your different tools in here and resources that you can use for this assignment. You can explore some of these other ones that I didn't dive into, but let me just show you really quickly how to use this one. So let's say, I'm just going to put prison system in here and see what happens. So let's say I wanted to use this prison, or actually, let's go back over here. Let's go back to this criminal justice system. If I wanted to use this article, again, I would just come up here to my cite button and I would copy and paste this MLA citation to use in my paper. All right. So I think that pretty much covers most of these. If you have any questions or you need any help along the way, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me. I can Zoom with you. I can help you with any of this. I look forward to hearing from you, and good luck, everybody.